Today, we are going to talk on the data structure. In the computer science, data structure is the core syllabus, you can say, and any software engineer who are going to deep dive in the software development field, they must aware about the data structure. And so Python also support data structure. So we first talk what is the data structures, and then we understand how in Python we can use these data structure concepts. That is a very important concept in the software development field. Nowadays, these data structures are already available in the form of modules and library. So we just talk little bit about the basics, and then we talk what the Python modules, the library availables that help us to very simplest way we can use the data structure in our Python programming language. So if you talk about the Python data structure, just let's talk about the data structure. It's just about how the data can store in the efficient structure. The first things, whenever you are doing any kind of building any kind of applications, the first responsibility, whatever the customers or clients have information, you have to somehow store in the efficient way, so that later part, if customers client want, hey, can you give my data, you can reply returns efficient way. So whenever you need to work on the data, okay, you must understand the concept of data structure. And whenever you are going to build any applications, you must need to manage the data. Manage means you have to store the data, we have to retrieve the data. So whenever you study about this Python data structure, same time we have to also talk about the algorithms. So algorithms is the steps that mention how you can make possible those data which client have, customer have, you can say to store efficiently and later part response very quickly. So two terminology in the Python data structure. One is the data structure and the algorithms we will talk. Algorithm is just about how to solve the different problem, maybe searching or manipulating the data structures. So data structures, as mentioned, what kind of a data you your applications are going to store in the efficient way, and later part, if some client want to search or want to find something, so our applications should respond very quickly. So all these things come under the data structure. So any software developer, directly or indirectly, they are using data structures. Nowadays, data structure concepts are implemented by the in every language the in the form of library module. So Python also support. So directly or indirectly, every developers are using data structure. May he aware or he not aware. Okay. So if you talk just data structures are a way to organizing and storing data so they can access and work efficiently. Python also say we are going to support data where what the possible way, what are the different way to organizing means storing, managing your data, and later parts if customer or client want to access them, so we are going to, excuse me, we are going to respond very efficient. So for this Python data structures, Pythons provide the several built-in data structures. So we're going to talk. So as a Python programmer, you don't worry about studying deep all the algorithms, all the structures, but good part Python already provided the built-in library for you. So just each suit for the different kind of task. So whatever your client or your the application you are building, what kind of requirement, you just understand the requirement and think what are the inbuilt data structure provided with the Python. So almost all the programming language, whatever you are using, almost everyone provided the basic building block for the data structure so that the developer very simplified way they can use the data structure. Okay, so if you talk the data structure, a way to storing and organizing data in the computer, and Python have a built-in support of the several data structure. We'll talk about the list, set, other things. And even the data structure can be implemented using Python. Maybe we have already discussed we can implement all these data structure from yourself as well as maybe using the class or maybe using the array or maybe using the list. Maybe. So lots of approaches we're going to talk. If you are interested, I want to implement, you can implement for learning purpose, for understanding what the behind that, so you feel more comfortable while using the built-in library. So Python support, you can implement the data structure using the class, object, and all other things. Okay, so if you talk the basic data structures, we generally in our data structure support, there are a list is very large. So commonly for the initially, you should aware like these data structure maybe list, arrays, tag, queue, linked list, hash table, trees have a binary tree, binary search tree, ABL tree, graph. So these are kind of data structures where you can say. Generally people aware or developers should aware and about the concept. If you are interested each and every data structure, you understand the basic concept, what are the primitive of each, and how you can implement a right code using the Python. So Python support, you can implement every data structure if you want. A good part, these data structure already in the Python provided by the built-in model. You just search which models I want to list, I want to array, I want to stack, I want to queue, I want to linked list. These all the data structure are already inbuilt available. Just we should aware. Okay. If you talk about similarly algorithms, at the top, algorithm is just a step-by-step procedure or a set of rules designed to perform a specific task or solve the particular problem. So whenever you're going to build any applications, customers have given some use case. So to solve the use case, solve the scenario, you have to define the step-by-steps rule. Number one, check in input, number two, validate input, number three, do some processing, number four, this. So you have to define a step-by-step procedure. Also, you can say set of rules. If your application perform this set of rule, then you can meet the customer business requirement. So generally, algorithm help us to solve any particular problem which you have or the customer share his use case. Okay, so algorithms are the way to working with the data in the computer and solving the problem, solving lots of the data structure problems, sorting, searching, storing, retrieving, lots of these kind of particular problems. So we as a software engineer, generally whenever you develop any application, you are following some steps, some rule. Those steps, those rule considered as an algorithm. So these algorithms are you directly or indirectly using in the form of framework, in the form of library, because these are the concept is very old. And nowadays, lots of frameworks already built, lots of library already built. We nowadays are just using. So we should aware the concept behind that. Any frameworks or any Python library someone build, they follow these steps. They follow these rules. So if you talk basic characteristics of any algorithms, generally in common, if you build any algorithms, you have to take some input and some output. So whatever the your applications you are building, a software building, they take some input and they produce some output. So here your algorithm play role step by step procedures, a set of rules you perform, and whatever the input you take according to your algorithms, you produce the output. Okay, so your algorithms, whatever the algorithm you design for input and output, that must be definited. Each steps is clearly and unambiguously defined. Because your steps is not clear, you are not build your software as needed. And your finiteness, your algorithm must be terminated after finite number of steps. If you define step 1, 2, 3, 4, you cannot go in finite number of steps. If going to infinite number of steps, we are not achieve our algorithm. So our algorithm must be define the finite number of steps, and that step, each step must be clear. And effectiveness is also key characteristics of any algorithm. Each step must be basic enough to carry out the purpose for which you are going to build the software or a program. So be sure whenever you are writing any application, any software, directly or indirectly, you are following algorithm. So your algorithms can be effective if you follow this. If you should aware this concept like our algorithm must be definite, definite, net and our finite steps. That means each step must be clearly defined, and each step must have a finite number of steps. You cannot go infinite. You not go, and if you're not clear, let's brainstorm, think carefully, and defines your steps clearly. Each step must be clearly, and your number of steps must be finite. This is the two very key characteristics of any algorithms, and your algorithm must be effectiveness. That means they are response, they are executed as quickly so that customer can feel comfortable of your app. Okay, so if it thinks basic way, the housing, let's you want to add the two numbers. So simply you have to start. The first you want to add two number. You have to first take input A, another take input B, and you have to. This is the input part, and again you are doing some processing. Some is like take add A and plus B, then store the result in a C, and then output the C. And finally, your programs end. So your program must be start and program must be end, and these steps be clear. This is known as a simple algorithm to adding two number. Generally, in our software industries, whatever you are developing, that must be an algorithm where you are taking some input, you are following some steps, and doing some processing and storing something, getting something, providing some output. So these are the basic things generally we are doing, but so sometimes we are not aware. Someone asks, "You are using any algorithm?" Yes, always we are using algorithm. Maybe we have not given some name, but algorithm is nothing. just a step by step procedure where you are able to solve the particular task or problem. Okay. If you talk the algorithms, lots of algorithms already built by the maybe linear search, binary search, bubble search, selection search, insertion search, quick search, community search, ready search, merge. Lots of algorithms already behind. So we are not going to surely cover each and everything, but you should aware. First, understand the basic concept, what the linear search, and then think how we can implement those concepts in a Python language. So just for awareness, for everything, almost you find the library. Just but before you are going to use library, you should aware the name and the purpose of this algorithm. Why this algorithm built means each algorithms for solving a specific problem, a specific task, particular requirement. So according to a requirement, might be some data structures or algorithms already exist. So if you aware these algorithms and whenever you are getting the requirement from the clients and you think this requirement already taken care by maybe particular algorithm, you can directly use them. So you have to as a software engineer, our responsibility take the client requirement, understand the proper requirement, and also we have to understand the existing algorithms. Hey, this is specific algorithm for this purpose, this specific algorithm for this purpose, this is specific algorithm for this purpose. If I aware the existing algorithm, I take the client requirement and then I can map, hey, for this customer use case, this library can be suited and we can just use them and quickly develop the software. So nowadays, we are responsible to understand both client requirement and whatever the existing data structure algorithms already available in the form of modules and library, we should also aware so that we can use those library according to the client a customer requirement. So these are the sometimes these are the some ways why data structures and algorithms help with the Python programmer. First thing, organize data locally, improve the code efficiency, make data manipulation easier, make clean, readable syntax, improve the problem solving skill, help write more efficient code. It's give you the better understanding about the memory storage. It's handle the complex programming challenges, and it's widely used the data science and machine learning. So these data structure concept, if nowadays notice in the era of AI, deep learning, machine learning, so these are the technology where they are working on the huge volume of data. That means we should aware know how this huge volume of data can be managed. Python is one of the best, one of the commonly used technology, programming language or tool available for the data scientist or machine learning, deep learning, where you are going to understand the millions of volumes of data. For those, Python's already provided inbuilt data structures and algorithms. If we are not aware those algorithms, those concepts, very hard for us to work in the data scientist or machine learning community. So these are the not the just oldest things nowadays in the form of today where the era of AI, lots of volumes of data are generated by our IoT devices, lots of different sources, clouds, and we need to analyze those data. For analyzing the data, for taking the a deep understanding of those data, we should aware the data structure concept. And Pythons are in build lots of data scientists, machine learning related data structures. We should aware. So let's start today and just start with one basic data structures uh, in the form of this. So we've already discussed array. Just I'm just again re-brief because array is the very basic data structures, and that's are used almost every applications are requirements. Whatever doing in the form of different form. Maybe you are using the existing library or something where this array are used. We are using. Maybe aware or not aware. So let's talk brief about very basics about this array data structure, and later part we are going to talk further data structure. So arrays also is a data structures that are used to store the collections of elements, typically the same data types, in the contiguous block of memory. So array say is a data. First things it is a data structure. So array is a data structure. Second things to store a collections of elements. So they are somehow, let's say element one, element two, element three, element four. We have a collections of elements, typically the same type. That means that each element typically should be the maybe the same type. This is an integer element, integer element, integer element, integer element in the contiguous block of memory. So this array data structure also talk because these are the value you are going to store that require the memory. So which fashion the your elements are going to store in the memory. Generally in the memory there are two fashions of storing data. One fashion is the contiguous block of memory. That means let's see here a one, two, three, four element. So I can say, hey, I am going to find out four block where I can put data in the contiguous form. This is known as your contiguous block of memory. Another letter also discuss about the second form of, hey, these four elements, maybe I have not this block available, this big block available, then we can store one element here, one element here, maybe one element here, one element here. Maybe we have to provide the link. This is the second element, this is the third element, and this is the fourth element. This way means you are putting data in the scattered, but we are linking to each other. What are the logically next data would be? So generally, in the memory, data are stored maybe in the contiguous memory locations or non-contiguous block of memory. So whenever you are studying array, sometime we talk this contiguous block of memory, types of data, and the store collections of element. This is known as a data structure. The basic definition of data structure to managing the your data. So this is also the fundamental, very fundamental concept in any programming language, and used to store data in an organized way for easy access and manipulation. So array provide a way, whatever the data you have, whatever the collections of element you have, you can easily access and manipulate. Means you can store, update, read all the operations you can very easily perform. So whenever you are working the more couple of elements, yeah, collections of data, collections of value, more than one, two, three, four, five element. So where you can be use the arrays data structure. Arrays means number of more than one elements you are going to manage it. So array fit there. Okay, and in array there are three basic concepts we should aware. So whenever we have a, let's say we have element one, element two, element three, we have element four, right? These are the element four. So indexing. So what array day? Hey, I need a contiguous memory locations. They are allocating memory allocation contiguously, and for each element they are providing the indexing. Indexing means this is your index 0, this is index 1, index 2, index 3, index 4, index 5. That means for each element they give the unique name. So indexing are used to identify uniquely each and every element uniquely. Generally, rule follow each element. What the element you are storing in this array? Generally, homogeneous. That means the same types of element you are storing. Let's integer value. Then you can store integer value. If the float value, you can store float value. You can double value. You can store double value. And one and more basic concept is the size. So whenever you are going to use the concept of array, you must know the number of elements you are going to work. Let's you are going to work here the 4 element, so your size is the 4. This should be finite. You cannot go use the array data structure where you don't know the number of element you are going to manage. So this is the one of the, you can say, advantage or disadvantage. Array data structures are used in the place where you know the number of elements, because you have to need those number of blocks in the contiguous memory allocation. Okay, so these are the three basics, you can say, concept. Let's talk one by one. If you talk about the indexing, I say indexing, each element in array is identified by the elements. So whatever the element, you can store element 1, element 2, element 3, element 4, element 5. So finally, somehow we need to, our array data structure need to give some unique name. So instead of giving the individual name for each value, they given some number system, number 0, 1, 2, 3. So this indexing is the unique name for each and every element which we are going to store in the array. And indexing usually start from the 0. So generally the numbering start from the 0. First element is the 0, second element is 1. For example, this is like a this is a one array, and they have a 10, 20, 30. So the element index is 1 for the 0. This is the 0, this is the 1, this is the 2. The indexing is the first unique name for every element. That's name is the integer number. That number start from your 0. So these are the three basic property of index. As you talk homogeneous, generally guidelines say whenever you are going to work on the array data structure, the what are the elements you are storing here, that could be possibly it should be the same types. Like arrays typically store the same types of element, maybe integer only or float only, double only, string only. But if you want, you can make violate this rule as well. But preferable way, guidelines, because latter part, whenever you do perform some operations, if you know these elements are very similar, you can easily predict, easily do the processing later part. And we talked the fixed size. Many other languages like C or Java and have arrived. Generally, the other programming language also implemented the same way. Whenever they are going to implement the array data structures as a concept, they always have a fixed size. That means whenever you are going to use the array data structure, you must know the number of elements you are going to work. But in the Python, we often use lists, which are more flexible, but we can use array via the array module order. Here in the Python, generally we prefer Python already provided inbuilt concept. So in the Python, generally array are implemented with a flexible concept known as a list. The list is the one concept where Python implemented. Python implemented this list. A list is the very flexible way of storing elements. Next, here We are not telling I'm going to work on a two element, a three element, or four elements. So in the Python, generally, whenever you're going to create any array, that is the directly Python use the list concept. So list and the array, you can say very alternatively changeable used in the Python. And other programming language, you have to different list is a separate and array is a separate. But here in the Python, we can use the list as the preferable way to work with the array. So let's look simple examples like let us array in the Python generally using the list concept. Okay. So how to simple stuff, let's here. So you can say array and just say simple. This is the syntax. This is the basic way of the array structures, or you can say this is the list. This is the list as well as an array. So here and here you can put the any number of elements. So this is the way you can say just creating an array. How to create an array? List in the Python. In the Python, array is the list. In other programming language, list is the separate data structures and array is the separate. But Python decided we are going to provide the array concept in the form of list. So here, if you want to access the value, print, you can say array and you can want to first position value. So they say the first data here are the zero position value. You can get the zero position data, and even here you want to change some value, modify. So when first you creating array, and after that next you can get the element, or you can select. I want to change the element. Hey, so notice if I print here one, okay, one position. So notice one position data you four. I want to say one position. Here you can say array of one position data. I want to change. Let's say 44. And if you run now this position data one plus previously is the four. Now it's changed. So here you can also change the value in the existing array. Okay, and similarly even you can provide the some append, you can remove, you can even take all the elements. So even because this array concept is the basic, and you can look like a work as a list, because in Python array is the implemented in the form of you can say list. You can simply say hey array dot append. So this is the methods provided by the list. And if you print again, print array, so notice you can get this 99 as well as. Even you can say array dot remove. Okay, remove. Let's we want to remove this, and after that again print this. Okay. So notice here you can remove it. So these are the methods append, removes are the provided by your as a list, because the Python implemented this is the form of your list. Notice this is the list class where these concepts are provided. All the methods, lots of pop, remove, reverse, sort, many functions you can. So in Python's array are used not directly but indirectly using the list. Okay, so always be aware if you are working in other programming language. So array is a separate way to handle, list is a separate way to handle, but in the Python, list is the fundamental data structures that provide all the features of the array and the list. Okay, even you can iterate like this the one by one element here. Let's say okay. So you can say for number in your array, and get every elements if you want, right? Yeah. One by one elements you want. You want to do some manipulation, permutation, everything you can perform here. So because this is the array, so every element one by one you can access. These are the, you can say, simplified way uh, about the data structure array in a Python. If you are working understanding the data structure concept array, Pythons are using the concept list to provide the functionality or array in the Python language. The simple, this is the array, creating array, this is the way accessing element, this is the way modifying element, this is the way you are going to use the, because this provides some additional method like append, remove, or even you can iterating each one element from the array. And let's one thing. This is the by default provided by the default implementation of the array as a list. And one way you can use the any array is the module. One thing's also Python in build provided one array module here. Here you can provide the array module. Implement import array, and after that same thing you can perform like creating an array, accessing an element, appending them, inserting them, removing them, all these operations we can do. So here they are provided the, you can say, import array, and here say array equal to array. So now here this is the different syntax. Notice this is the array module. In module you can say I want to create array. So here notice I pass I and the number. So what do you mean by I mention, because the array concept say it is the homogeneous element. This element must only contain your this specify the type. Here say I for integer. They can only store an integer. If you want to only float, only double, you can specify. So here import modules ensure that array are follow the homogeneous element concept. So each element must be the same type. Okay. So here, let's say you are trying to access print same print array. You can specify the two position value. You can get here. Okay. And if you want to similarly here the I want to one position value. You can get the one position value, whatever the position you want. What happened you have to change? Hey, array change the, let's change the value. One position change the value 10. So notice now you're getting the, let's see here, one position you are getting the value different 10. What happened here? You can change the value like 9. So now here is the your instance integer type. I want to go and assign in the different value. Notice they are not allowed, because here you say array is, I'm going to create array are ambiguous. No, here you mention this each and every element in this array must be in the same data type. If you create like here a equal to this way, you can say this, okay, and here print this, and here print this, here print this. Notice by default also they are complaining. Notice complain, because by default they sent here say, notice this is the invalid unexpected type. They are expecting integer, you are trying to float. So this is the way Python ensuring that the array can contain kind of a homogeneous. If you go here in this definition, just here you can go right click and go to definition, and you find the details, okay, here, and this is the array types, and notice here these are all the types you can specify type code here. You can say V for the signed integer, capital V for unsigned integer, U for character, H for signed integer, capital H for unsigned integer, I for signed integer. So if you want to, this is the number of this is a byte. They are only take the only one byte. This is a 2 byte. So here say I is the signed integer. That it will take a 2 byte of space, minimum size in the byte. So this is the, so these are the types you can provide while using this array module, and they have lots of options they give when you want to 8-bit. So if you go to the 8-bit data structure, a 4-bit floating number or floating point number. So here we have 4-bit 8-bit data, you got a D, look, some language say double, so here 8-bit, F float for the 4-bit. So this is the way you should aware about this kind of a uh, because whenever you talk about array, they know the number of byte of memory you are going to occupy. So this is the simplest way you can use array using the array model, and you can just import them, and after that create array object, and after that similar things you can accessing element, appending element, inserting element, removing element. That are the things you can easily do. Okay, so these are the some effective benefits you can say get using the array. Efficient memory usage, because here we know if they specify a, I want to 1 byte storage for the integer, yeah 2 byte, yeah 8 byte, or 4 byte. The efficient memory utilization you can say array data structure support, and fast access to element. If you have a collections of elements, lots of element in this collection, lots of elements, they provided the fast access. How? Because each and every element they give in a unique index number. You just provide the index number and you get the data fastest, and useful in the mathematical and scientific computation. So these array data structures are useful whenever you doing the some data scientists or mathematical activities where this array data structure help us. These modules, lots of inbuilt module, a third party library are available for the mathematical operation like a numpy, where you can import, you can find the average, minimum, sum, summation, lots of mathematical calculation if you want. This array data structures help us, and lots of third party built-in packages available to solve this mathematical formulas. Okay, so these are the points which I want to convey for the today about the understanding the basic about the data structures, what are the data structures and what are the algorithms. And in the Pythons, these data structures are supported by default. All the built-in library, third-party library, built-in functions available for these data structures. And we also talk about the list of algorithms. For those algorithms, also Python supported, and we should aware these kind of algorithms already available in the Python library, and we should use, we can use as our client customer requirement match with my algorithms. And today we just talk about the basic array data structures, and where array we can work. We are going to store collections of elements, and that's element you want to fast access, you want to retrievals is very fast access, the array are used. And array can be implemented in the form of list in the Python, or you can use the array modules that provide the all the operations in this array. You can add element, you can create element, you can get element, you can iterate element, you can remove element. All these operations are provided by the list or the array modules in Python. Hope this information is useful for you. Thank you.